But here we go. Hey, here we are. What's up?
Welcome to the future.
Jordy LaForge.
My name is Francisco, and welcome to Embers by Daybreak, the
Did
show
you see that?
where we bring something new to you every day.
Oh, great seer, Francisco. Wait, I should do it in this.
Good
Francisco, our great seer, please tell us what it is that happened before this time.
In your eyes.
As much as I want to commit to this day,
Somebody clip that. Somebody please clip that.
It's okay.
Somebody get on Twitch and
Hang
clip
on,
it.
it's gonna
Okay.
it's gonna take a sec, but
yeah.
Discord's running slow for me.
All right, I can see and hear properly again.
Good.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Embers by Daybreak.
What, you couldn't see through time when you had 4 headsets on your head?
Listen, I can hear through time, and what you have to say when you're 80 is kind of racist.
You know, standards probably changed by that time.
Listen, man, just leave the monkeys alone. But
Those damn dirty apes.
those chimpanzees,
no.
once they acquire citizenship, they require rights. I should leave this train of thought alone.
let's just blow over this one.
Yeah.
We're
We're getting
burying
into
that
dangerous
one.
territories.
Yeah, we're gonna throw that into deep depths like someone's father a couple of sessions ago.
Oh. Hey-oh.
Ew.
But yes,
Hey-oh.
hi everybody, and welcome back to Embers by Daybreak. Where we last left off, the crew had,
help
or
me.
the performers here had finally
Yep.
returned back to the Ember and had reported back to Captain Brandt, where they were all rewarded for their efforts in trying to see whether or not Tamith was secretly harboring thoughts against the ship. They found that she didn't, but she seems to be sweet on a certain doctor on board by the name of Dr. Rykov. The captain then gave the performers a choice to see which other officers they wanted to investigate, but after some disagreements,
Minor
between-
disagreements.
Minor dispute.
between the performers, they managed to shelve that for another day. Regardless, they went to visit the doctor, where they found out that the blood itself wasn't contagious, or seemingly not contagious, but it seemed to enhance some magical ability to a point, and to the point where Terry, when having consumed a little bit of it, accidentally cast
so
a spell on
sorry.
Ephra. Regardless, after that discovery and after Marshall had a epiphany off screen,
That was something.
all right, 3 out of the 4 of the performers.
Yeah,
are
sorry,
now-
I got semi-distracted by a video of a baseball player breaking his nose on a bunt practice.
I like it.
What? Anywho.
Anywho, but 3 out of the 4 are now up in a crow's nest. The last witch is on the deck, as they suddenly all came to realize that there was a very big ship approaching them.
Yeah, with a wily guy waving his arms about, apparently.
Hey, you guys.
Holding a blade. So with that said, you're all now in your respective areas.
He's just like on the boat, just like, "Ah!"
He's doing like the Tuscan Raider thing. He's like,
The way that Friday described it, that's how it felt, really.
Yeah.
The way that he described it at the end of the last episode's really how I felt about it. I'm like, man, we're getting the party boat suddenly, I guess.
So with that said, Terry, Petrichor, and Nephra are all in the crow's nest. Approximately, I believe I said 50 feet off the ground. And David is now unmoisturized, thanks to a certain spell, is on the deck. David, at this point, you would hear the yell of whatever this creature is on the other ship as it draws closer and closer together. As the two draw closer and closer together. And David, you do notice that some of the crews, passengers, and a few of the officers have now made their way to the deck, as they now notice the giant ship, about equal in size to the Ember, approaching.
I mean, I just try to go up to either any like officer person that is coming up near the ship line.
You do notice that Tamith is actually the first one to be on deck, as her job primarily has her there.
I walk up to Tamith then.
She hasn't noticed that you arrived there. She's instead focusing on the ashes, the other ship, slowly approaching.
What's going on here?
As she jumps as you walk up next to her. David, come on. Well, I guess the ashes is. They want to tell us something. It looks like. Usually, the last time they did this was right after they lost a few people.
Have they not heard of a messenger bird?
You try keeping a bird alive in these situations.
There are
David,
spells for that. We don't live in the Stone Age.
She just looks at you. Do you know how to cast a spell that relays messages?
Wizards can create creatures and send them distances far and wide.
Where was the...
Are you telling me that there are 0 wizards in the entire Armada left? I doubt that.
She kind of shrugs her shoulders.
Don't act like I'm the crazy one, alright? Don't treat me like I'm the crazy one here.
You might have a point, but we haven't seen any, or none have made themselves known. All the more notable ones kind of all, died finding out what the calamity was. So...
Great, then we have, including myself, apparently the idiots left. The wizards are the intelligent scholars of our race.
Well, I mean... there's many smarts, as she kind of like puts her hands on her hips and just kind of closes her eyes. Like, I'm pretty smart when it comes to technical stuff.
Yep, and my family had a great wizard, and yet I would love to believe that I was smarter than him. I'm not.
Well, it's good to be self-aware. As she kind of just pats you on the shoulder before realizing maybe I shouldn't do this again, putting her hand away.
Anyway, try to yell over if there's, because you said last time I believe you said I could see somebody kind of waving their arms about.
Oh yeah, there are a couple about 500 feet away. The ship is still approaching slowly, and you guys are 2 ships apart from
I guess we wait for them to get closer. Actually, I'll turn around and kind of yell up, because I assume one person that is actually in the crow's nest. I only assume one person's up there. Hey, Terry! Can you see anything up there?
I see a lot of water and other people. Do you need something more specific? I'm pretty sure a dolphin was off the port side once. That was pretty neat.
I don't know, if there's suddenly if there's a problem on this ship, if there's a giant hole on it, I don't know, just anything.
There is a giant hole in it. It's slowly being fixed from your first fight there. If you remember during the mutiny, someone fell through the floor for some mysterious reason.
No, the other ship.
Yeah.
Oh, the other ship.
Yes, not our ship. I was not referring to our ship.
Okay.
Is there a hole on our ship? Yes.
Terry, up there. Does our ship have sails?
Actually, with the way it currently is, it's more like, no, but we have this fancy new carpet. Don't walk on the carpet, however.
It's very old. That's why.
As far as anyone knows, our ship is fine.
You see, look how nice our carpet is.
Big old Band-Aid over it.
Well, yes, as the ship starts drawing closer and closer and closer, what do the 3 of you do up in the crow's nest?
Is there a certain bell pattern I'm supposed to ring for ship approaching?
There is, actually.
Then shall do my job.
All right, so
I'm gonna look very smugly at the two people with me and say, "Watch this."
Look, my
You're gonna
ear.
ding. You're gonna ring the bell.
Ring a ding ding.
Terry,
I'm good at this. This is what I'm meant
Make-
for.
Never covers his ears.
Yeah, turn myself
roll me a
down a
d20.
bit.
My first roll of the campaign. Woo!
Yeah, is to ring a
Awesome.
Oh,
bell.
that's right. You
So
haven't, because you
15.
haven't been in any of the combats.
No,
Alright.
no, I haven't.
Oh no.
It's
So-
15.
There you go. That's
15?
pretty good.
All right, now take your dexterity modifier,
Oh, okay.
add that onto it, and now
Uh-huh.
add +2 because you're proficient in ship bell ringing.
Alrighty.
Sick.
That's a 21.
Woo!
Somehow, to Petrichor and Nephra, Terry ringing this bell is almost melodic. There's simply ringing the bell, and there's the way Terry is doing it, which
Man,
is
he
can only be
She can ring my
quantified
bell
as.
anytime.
And, all right, you see,
Ring my bell.
Oh my God.
Ring my bell.
I only
That's
know that
not
song
better.
from Just Dance.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
similar to what.
Jade knew where I was going.
Yeah, funny enough, Jade, the rhythm you said is kind of the way you're ringing it. Is ding a ling a ling, and then pause, and then ding ding, and then you repeat that for several times.
Shaving a haircut. Got it.
And then,
Somebody remind me one of these things to get a bell in my room. I'm going to ring it.
Oh no.
I would love you forever, man.
Cowbell.
Role play.
Once the bell starts ringing, David, you do notice that the captain does come out of her quarters. She's flanked by Silent, who doesn't look happy being out on the sun right now. As I believe right now it's still middle of afternoon.
Mhm.
We got back early then.
Oh yeah, you guys left like beginning of the morning.
We didn't stay overnight. But wait, I'm confused then in time.
Okay.
We haven't rested
Assume-
yet.
No, you have not.
So
My
we
penny.
left for the other ship in the morning.
Yes,
Were we there for like an hour only?
you were there for about an hour.
Okay,
Yes.
because I thought when we got back it was like mid-afternoon is when we like returned.
Yeah, so it would be about mid-afternoon, a little past
Okay.
mid-afternoon, probably like.
As-
So the
as-
conversations we had did not take too long then.
No.
No.
Okay.
I mean, pretty much all that happened was I
I
got
just
poisoned
need to-
and
I
then
just
we all
need a
left.
grip. I just need a grip on where we're at.
It's alright.
We'll say about 1.
Okay, so we've come into
Well,
the.
actually, it would be around 3:30, 4.
We've had a slightly active, but well, we've had a long day then clearly.
Clear
Yes.
day. No clouds in the sky.
This has
I'm
been a very.
tuckered out. Time to go to bed.
I was to say this has been like a super active day.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's funny how these things work out, huh?
Mhm.
Funny how.
Y'all can deal with the ship. I'm gonna go to sleep.
Am I able to see if I can recognize anybody on the other ship?
Oh,
Go ahead and make me a
come
perception
on.
check.
There you go.
Okay.
Thank you, Windows.
Perception. That is a 11.
11.
Yes.
From far away, you're pretty high up.
Oop.
It was a-
I think I heard Puggos fighting and then.
Ah. Pogo's fighting.
Yes. So-
I'll temporarily mute him for a minute.
All right. So. I got it. There you go. Oh, I think I just muted him from me. All right.
Oh,
Anyways.
Well, I just muted him. I didn't deafen him. He's also
Oh,
not
there we go.
here.
Fair. Okay. That's me not knowing how Discord works.
He feels it in the other
Well,
room.
he's also
He's
he's also
sucking
not
meat
here.
to
It's
death.
irrelevant. If I muted everybody.
There you go. Oh, he's back.
There we go.
Up.
Continue, Franny.
All right. It's an 11. You do see several people working on board of the ship. Some of which look to be experienced ship hands from what they're doing. Maybe you see one or two that are more slower in the movements, kind of showing either inexperience or just general tiredness. You're not quite sure from that height.
Mhm.
And then other from the figure standing at the end of the poop deck, holding a glaive with greenish skin. You don't see really anybody notice on the deck. You
Okay.
do notice a figure in their crow's nest, kind of looking down, looking over at you, and you all do hear a similar rhythm to the one Terry is ringing, just from the opposite ship.
Oh God,
Is it better than
we're
mine?
facing a. Let's say we're facing like the Futurama parallel universe.
It's close, but no.
It's our versions of ourselves
Awesome.
waving back at us.
Well, yes. So, with that said, for posterity's sake, we're gonna say that the ships kind of converge together, keeping a respectful distance apart. But after a while, you do see
About 3 cars length apart, in case they have to suddenly break. It's common courtesy.
right. But you do see that a plank is placed over the two ships so that people can walk over. And the first one to walk on is a very peculiar creature to some people who don't know what a Derekai is. And this man, standing about 6 feet, walks a little bit slumped. That's only because he's about 6'2". He is pretty tall. Long black hair tied up in a ponytail. You do see most of his clothes are well kept. There are the familiar Derekai stripes, faint stripes going along his face. And to those in the know, he would be a Grovekin. Those who follow Elona's teachings a bit more than the others. He walks on while his shoulders are slumped. He does walk on with dignity and with practiced sea legs by the looks of it, not stumbling at any point, unlike most people who are newer to the seas. It seems like he's been here for a while. And as he walks on, you do notice that there is a satchel to his side and with several scrolls coming out. One of them does portray, while the three in the crow's nest can't see it, David, you do see that one of them does look like a map as he hops on. And behind him, about 3 other people come by, some regular looking ship hands. Random assortment. You have a human, a dwarf, and then a gnome come on. Just see as his retinue of sorts. And then you see the person who was yelling. This beast of a man who is mostly shirtless, with a leather, one could say corset going over his midsection. He's pretty tall, but he's not lanky. He is built in a way. Several scars run across his face, or not his face, his body, as there are several armbands going up and down his arms. His hair is also slicked back and it's black. But while the earlier man's hair was more tied up and well kept, his hair seems more wild and let loose. And you do see a beard kind of tied forward, and being the only hair that's tied on his face, tied forward into a semi-long goatee. This creature in front of you appears to be orcish, with his tusks lightly coming out, but he lacks the I don't. I'm trying to find the good word for this.
Je ne sais quoi.
The lack of intelligence of a regular. As he comes on, and what's notable is that he, in his hand, kind of holding it like this, is a long glaive with the blade decorated with several feathers, darker in color with brown and amber accents to them. And you see he saunters, while everybody else walks, he saunters across the plank as he comes aboard. And there, David, you do see the captain, Captain Brand, standing there ready with Silent behind her and Quillith to your left, Silent being to her right. As they stand there ready to receive these members of the Ashes, and several of the passengers and crew have now kind of formed a semicircle around the area where they're unloading to see what the spectacle is. David, you are amongst these people. There's about good 20 people there. some of the volunteered ship hands out of necessity and a few of the older folk who came up to hearing the commotion. And as they come aboard, they kind of just all stand there for a little bit as they all look at each other. Not a word is said. There was a couple mutters here and there among the crowd. Brand is silent, as well as silent. Quillith is looking back and forth, and Nephra, you do see Nina kind of hidden behind Quillith, just keeping close to her, the person she's directly under, in terms of chain of command. And as these figures kind of just stand there, without a single word passing through them, you just see the orcish man raise his head up, looking at Brand, and you see a smirk appear. And then in a brief second, I need everybody to make a perception check real quick.
That'll be a 15.
I got an 18.
It's be a 9. I don't see shit.
That is a 14.
14. Okay. Anybody higher than a 13 would have seen this occur. Patrick will link to this moment, as there was a good 10 feet of distance between the two. All of a sudden, Brand is now in front of the orc man, her weapon already in her hand, inches from his neck, only to be stopped by his glaive, which somehow has moved from his on top of his shoulders to in front of him. This happened in the blink of an eye. The two kind of just stand there, and as they both stand there frozen, you can see their arms slightly moving as tension's being applied. The orc smiles some more as he says, Brand, you've never changed, as he just lets go of his glaive and picks her up and starts swinging her back and forth. As he's just laughing heartily. The Derrickine next to him just runs a hand over his face. Sir, must we always do this every single time we come here?
Yes, give us a show.
You see some people, nowadays, you see some other people like, yeah, what's happening? As the orc let's go. Like, Brand, it's been too long. You guys are so far up ahead. I lose sight of you every so often. I think you might have sunk, but I know you won't let that happen. How's life? I've heard you guys had a mutiny.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Good start, yeah.
Bran, after being let go, kind of drops the 2 feet, or not the 2 feet, the foot down from after being picked up. Stables herself, puts away her weapon, and stands there with her hands behind her back. Things have been well, except for that said mutiny. Captain Orr, and how goes the ashes? And the orc kind of just messes around with his beard a little bit. You know, same old, just picking up all the unfortunate souls whose ships are, you know, not don't make the cut of the ship. As you see him bend over and pick up his glaive. But yeah, it's good to be here once again. Last time I was here was during the whole evacuation. Hell of a mess, wasn't it? As he just kind of walks by the captain, starts going to random people. Hey, how's it going? Captain North, at your service.
Jesus, what's this guy's charisma?
I mean, whether or not it is 20, he's gonna act like it's 20.
Uh-huh.
So that's it. Everybody in the crow's nest. What do you all do?
I'm able to perceive the glaive from here, correct? I think we had established this last session. But...
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Nephra is peering over the edge of the crow's nest.
Mhm.
His eyes are like saucers right now, and he is sweating visibly.
Yeah.
He looks utterly terrified. He's just staring daggers at Nor and the glaive.
You're right there, bud? Yeah, you got matchy weapons here.
It's not the same. 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 It's not the
Okay,
same. It's
all
not the
right.
same.
It's not the same, bud.
Same. It's not the same.
Just take a breather. Let's breathe together. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Oh god.
Squeak.
Straight like.
Okay. All right. Just.
As you just see the
Hey
Grove
there.
Kid man, you're like, what is that? Is that a bird? You kind of just start looking around.
No bird
Stop.
here.
As Captain Nora keeps walking by and by, he happens upon you, David. As he looks at you. Do I know you from somewhere?
Who is to know? Really?
I guess you're right. Hey, how's it going? I'm Captain Nora. As he kind of goes past you and keeps shaking hands. You do see
Quite the man of the
Grove. You do see the Derekai go up to the captain. Captain, if I may say, greetings from the ashes. As you see, Captain Nora is his usual self. We bring word, updates, and we also, well, I personally wish to talk to your quartermaster for a good while, involving our routes, as he kind of becomes a bit more serious upon saying routes. And you see the other ship hands are now kind of stabilizing the.
Am I anywhere
like-
near that conversation?
You can hear it. He's not being subtle about it. You're about 10 feet away, or
Okay.
no, 15 feet away amongst the crowd, towards the crowd.
So decently enough for me to kind of just like slink in behind where the cap, like essentially almost kind of like behind the captain's shoulder in a way.
Okay, you do kind of bump into Silent, who kind of looks back and is very confused with the fact that you're right next to him.
The Silent was.
Silent is the dark elf who's not happy to be out right now,
Oh,
but he is also the first mate.
he also knows who I am.
Yes, he also knows who you are.
So I continue to slink by. And essentially, my goal is to like slink by and just kind of like appear next to the captain, if you will.
As you see the Derekai kind of stop. Who?
So you're
and this
just
job-
planning on making a pleasantary visit then?
He looks at you, kind of looks back at the captain. Captain, he's a respected member of the ship. He helped out with the mutiny not too long ago.
So what she's telling you, she's a bad judge of character. Hi, my name is David.
Great icebreaker.
David, you feel a strong, firm grip on your hand. Not so much that it hurts, but enough to let you know that there's someone behind you. As you smell, the best way to say it is pleasant body odor. It's not. It's there. You know it's there, but it's not terrible. You just know it's there. Like a guy who has just freshly worked out.
It's grabbing my hand.
No, he's grabbing your shoulder.
Oh.
So while you're standing kind of
Now my
behind
boat setup
Brand,
is ruined.
yes, he's not behind Brand, and now this person's behind you. As you see Captain Orr now standing over you. I believe you are. How tall are you?
6 feet.
5'9".
Yes, he's about 6'1", just 1 inch over, just enough. He kind of stands next to you. Hey, if he helped out with the mutiny, he's okay in my book. David, right?
I don't know. I didn't tell you my name.
Oh, you told it to my quartermaster there, Gildis, and Gildis is part of me.
Then you're just as
technically
quick
works for me.
as your showmanship presumes.
Absolutely, I gotta be. Gotta make sure everybody here is feeling okay.
Well, they at least know your name.
Absolutely. Captain
We'll find
or
out about the
Agraga.
second part.
No. I see. This one's got a mind on him. I like it. Captain, if we can just retire to your quarters real quick, and we can all have a little chat, catch up a little. See Captain Brannick kind of look back. Now has two prominent people are behind her, directly.
So, I'm gonna... This is more of a me to you part of this conversation, Franny.
Hit me.
There's not inherently a way to do this, but almost I'm almost kind of attempting just to, in a way, give forth an idea of code to the captain. With the way I say this. So if there would, I can't think of one, but if you can think of the use of a skill for this, that's fine. But I'm going to say this, and this is kind of going just as a note for you as I say it. As I'll just kind of start before I walk away from them as they kind of leave as well. Well, based on your previous concerns, be mindful of who you retire with, Captain. As I'll continue to walk away.
Okay. Go ahead. You're right. This is kind of weird.
Yeah.
This is a weird one.
It's one of those where it's like there's not inherently a skill check for like attempting to speak in code. It's like the opposite of deception. It's like the opposite of deception. It's more just, or if anything, it's deceiving everyone else. Deceiving everybody but one person.
So deception.
Performance!
I would say go ahead and
that could work.
Roll deception.
Sure.
She will roll with advantage for insight. So we'll do that way.
So I don't know if she has to, I guess, assuming she has to beat a 20?
Well, there's no worries there. She does.
Okay,
She beats you barely with the 21.
Well, at least she got it. That's what counts. Because really, the main thing is, I'm by saying that my worst, obviously with that wording, my worst case scenario is she thinks I'm referring to like me telling her not to sleep with him or something, like making a reference that way, which is like not the intent. Right. But it's code enough that it would make somebody else think that's what I'm doing.
As you walk away, you do. You're not visibly looking at them, right?
I'll keep kind of a side eye as I walk away.
Okay, you do notice that Oregon looks at Captain, looks back at you, and then looks back at the Captain. Shall we? And as you hear the Captain, of course, after you, Captain. And as they both start making their way towards the cabin, you do see behind them is the man who he referred to as Gildus, following somewhat close behind with Quillith in tow. Nina does not follow, as people on the crow's nest will be able to see that there was a brief exchange of words between Quillith and Nina, as most of the officers now go there. You do see Silent going the opposite way, back to the below deck to probably catch a few more hours to sleep before his shift comes up.
I'm gonna head up towards the crow's nest. I want to see if
sorry, no more room.
Notice of anything.
I'd like to point out I'm staring daggers at the other person in the other crow's nest if they're there.
Yeah, dagger staring.
So
Terry,
if Terry was the only one there, my answer would be no.
Terry, make me a perception check.
Fuck, what? I cannot stop rolling 15s. That's 18 total.
18 total? Wait, are you complaining about that?
For a roll?
No, I'm just saying.
It's a pretty good one.
I had to roll 3 d20s today, and every single one of them was 15. Did I grab my loaded dice by accident?
Campaigns, though, I would much rather always roll a 15 than get any crits.
Yeah, you know,
if I was guaranteed a 15 but could never crit,
I'm more surprised than anything else.
I would definitely choose that, just because consistency is way more important.
That's true. What was your roll again?
18.
18. All right. With an 18, my throat kind of like does a thing. You do notice what looks to be a human male. You can't. Looks about your age, if not maybe older, a little bit younger, around there, with a bandana wearing around his head. You do see a spyglass being put away. As you are staring at daggers at him, he just kind of waves his tanned hand at you.
I would love if you were just looking over the
Yeah.
the edge,
Peeking.
and then you just like
The hair is slightly
Yeah.
bristling.
Do the Studio Ghibli thing.
Terry, for a brief second though, might be too far away to tell, but you could have sworn you saw two people in the crow's nest. But you blink once and it's gone.
it's a phantom.
As he, after waving, kind of just looks down at the spyglass, opens it up again, starts looking away, as if not knowing what else to do.
I'm uncomfortable.
Prolonged eye contact. Prolonged contact. Prolonged eye contact.
All right. So yes, David. In that time, you would have climbed up to the crow's nest, and you see the rest of the people you've been grouped with, kind of just all hanging out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like weird. Just like I'm expecting one person's like, huh. So this is where the party is.
Hey man, I live here.
Sorry. No,
I live here,
ruin it
and
in-
I'm going to eventually die here in about like I don't know
No,
2 hours.
no,
I think.
Yeah.
I was expecting you here. No, don't worry. I was coming to see you.
Did you have a nice shower?
actually. Oh, that was you.
Have you come to visit my grave too?
What are you
We
talking
told
about
you you're
this
not
your
gonna
grave?
die, Terry.
No.
Alright.
You're fine.
We found
At
out
least-
I'm not.
At
gonna
least
die
for the
here
next
all
2
It
the time.
hours,
wasn't
you might not
contagious.
die from the
Look,
blood.
the doctor said it wasn't contagious. You're going to be fine. I trust his word.
Well,
What's worse
meanwhile,
is he lost the bloody vial, but still.
yeah, that is very concerning. If that ends
Huh.
up in the water supply, that'd be deadly.
Told
to
you
everyone.
he's not reliable
not
if he loses a
contagious.
simple bottle of blood.
It doesn't matter if it's contagious. He put some in my mouth and I froze him. It doesn't have to be contagious. Oh, speaking of which, though, we did figure something out neat. Turns out, best case scenario, I won't turn into a horrible monster. I will instead freeze everyone on the ship.
No,
So there we go.
no.
We believe that the blood enhances magical ability.
Yes, we had that. The doctor noted it. We knew catalyst.
Well, I didn't need a PhD to figure that out, so man.
You were there. We already talked about it.
Well, I didn't. You know what? I'm more worried about my health at the moment.
No, we talked about it up here. I don't know how you heard about that. You might have talked
We
about it with
talked-
the doctor.
We all did. Everybody but you.
All right, buddy. Hey, down.
Does not.
Oh,
Dog.
Hey.
oh, first gotta go out.
But yes. No. Anyway, I'm not here to have this conversation.
Oh, my dice.
I'm not here to have this conversation.
Do you come out here to get away from those other shippers?
Curious if you've noticed anything from up here, and I guess I can ask all of you that now.
I'm pretty sure that other guy on the ship is incompetent at his bell ringing job.
Well, that's all she really cares about.
I'm
So,
sure he is.
I really can't see much anything crazy going on down there. You probably got a better look at the two people that came aboard than us. So,
I just wasn't sure if you could have noticed anything that maybe I couldn't, because of the crowd and everything.
true.
Just outside of that, the captain of their ship is abnormally fast. I attribute it to some type of great skill. But outside of that, no, he and the captain have gone to discuss something, and as much as I would love to figure out what that is, I kind of hold almost anybody else to the equal standards we are meant to hold. supposedly everybody else too on the ship.
How large is this crow's nest, by the way?
It's big enough to hold 5 people comfortably.
No, okay. So we still got it.
Group fort.
So about you 3 and then 3 of Nephros.
Huh.
How you holding up there, bud?
Oh, hi, David. When did you get here? Oh, hi. How's the weather? I mean,
Good morning.
yes. Hi. Did you see the guy down there? What a interesting fellow, huh? what a strange. Hi. How are you doing today?
Nephro, are you okay?
Oh, I'm
Take it as
fine.
no.
You know me, silly old me, always scared of something. Yep, that's
I'm
me.
gonna insight that.
Go ahead and roll an insight check.
That's gonna be an 18.
All right, Nephra, if you are trying to deceive, go ahead and make me a deception check.
I feel like by saying I'm fine.
Yeah, why not?
that
Why
I'm
not?
actually
Let's make this
qualified.
fun. Let's see if I can beat this.
Nephra's never fine.
Or this is
What the
classic
what the
Nephra.
hell? Yeah, that's not happening. That's a 14.
Oh.
Okay. What?
Hey,
What?
guess what? Nephra's really anxious over the captain of that ship. He's really freaking out
Wow.
about him. He's
What?
wigging out.
Why?
He's going crazy.
Nephra, what has got you all tied up?
Nothing. My arms are completely free. Ha! See, look, yeah.
Nephra, talk to me. What could possibly be bothering you? Was it the teleporting? Was it the weird instantaneous movement?
No, I'm fine with teleportations. It's kind of cool, actually.
It can't be their weapons.
No,
it's the
that's
same
not-
as the one you carry everywhere.
Yeah, that's great. Yep. Glad you noticed that too. Yep. We already covered that part. That's
Yeah.
good.
I think that may be the thing that's, bothering you.
What?
You know, I've had a lot to think about, and I think I should definitely just go to bed for the day. Yep, I think today all of
What
my
about
energy
that
is
could
used
be
up,
bothering
and golly
you?
gee, I'm so tired.
He
What
falls
about
off
it
the
could be
crow's nest.
bothering you? Tell me.
Come on. Tell
David, when you were down there, did you notice? Did you notice anything off about the blade on his weapon? Was there anything about it that was like off color or suggested that he, used it a lot?
I mean, who knows? Who's to care if he's used it a lot? I've used my Eucla a lot. That doesn't mean it is anything special.
Bless you.
Ba-dum-bum.
Stream
I-
over, guys. We can't go back.
We can't top that.
Sorry. Some entity took it.
Sorry about that, Nephra. Continue.
It had feathers on it. Does that throw you off?
I've only really seen feathers on like birds and chickens, so that's not really a big deal.
Well, then
I suppose.
I guess you lack a little bit of outsiders' looks at people's weapons. They love to decorate them with whatever, especially nobles.
How do I put this? Okay. You see this, and Nefer kind of like holds the glaive out a little bit, but not like too far, so like put it within reach of you guys. He just kind of like holds it out a little bit, like he's showing it. Like, you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a glaive,
Yes. Got
kind
that.
of like
Very
what he
good.
has.
Sure, similar, yes. Not the same, this is yours, that's his.
There are
And,
many like it, but this one is mine.
Yes.
and I have this. It's mine.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This is a bad thing.
Okay.
I
Glaive
can't-
is a bad thing.
I don't want to get into details, but
Sure.
this glaive has done really bad things, and the way I see it, if somebody else gets a hold of it, they can do really bad things too. And
So why not throw
If-
it into the bottom of the ocean?
because
Are you worried that Atlantis is going to get this?
no, I'm not worried about Atlantis. That's a fairy tale. It's just children's stories.
Is it fun?
Atlantis truther.
I mean,
Well, based on my knowledge, they
I'm
would
just-
speak primordial, so you've got an advantage on that, Ganassi.
All right, I'm just saying it will fill in the gaps in the narrative that they feature.
Listen, if we evolved from mermaids, how come they're still mermaids? That's all I'm going on about.
It's the lizard folk, man.
oh
The
god.
lizard folks.
It's all the lizard folk. They're the center of everything.
My god. Yes, this is good. We should keep up this conversation. This is
Anyway,
great. We should just talk about Atlantis the whole time.
And not direct it back to the point at hand.
I mean, if you don't want the weapon,
No,
get rid of it. Melt it down.
I don't, but I can't get rid of it though. If I get rid of it, he finds out.
Who is he?
Yeah. If you don't mind us asking, I guess. I'm sure you do mind asking. However.
Tell us anyways.
I don't know if I can.
Please
Please don't make me.
Okay.
I guess I won't. I don't find it very. I don't find too much into anybody finding you on this boat in the middle of the ocean.
I feel like, in light of what's happened recently, stranger things have occurred, so maybe we could harsh it out on the skepticism a little bit.
I mean, I saw some pretty kind of weird things in the water, but... So I would say some things are kind of weird lately.
Look, the point is that I don't know this other captain at all, and if he's got a weapon like this, I don't know, maybe he could do things with it the way that this glaive can. I don't know. I don't like not knowing.
Just
Well-
because somebody has a
I know you
glaive
were
doesn't
British.
mean it's the same.
Yeah, I mean, they're totally...
There
I mean,
are
like you said.
probably cursed Yakulas out there. That doesn't mean that the one I have is evil.
I mean, and, like...
That doesn't turn the
what's
man
the glaive
isn't.
from here to there? I mean, you never know. It could just be
However,
a
I'm not-
regular old weapon.
What I will note in a semi agreement with Nefra is that I don't inherently trust the captain himself to not use it for ill will one way or the other, whether the glaive itself is to blame. I still
with any
semi hold a
weapon, really.
distrust to the captain himself. He's come out of nowhere, supposedly was in the back of the entirety of the armada, and suddenly he shows up. There's no coincidence there. There's a purpose, and I
Valid.
don't expect it to be a good one.
Valid point. Valid point.
So what do we do about him?
Well,
I
Observe
mean,
until-
to him. I mean, with him.
he's speaking with
I-
the captain now.
Mhm.
What I look at as our bottom line is we clearly have our disagreements, but I think what is more important is the fact that right now the four of us that have experienced whatever it is that can potentially draw people to do turn into something. We have seen people become mad and grow into mutinies out of nowhere, seemingly. We're all we've got inherently. Whether or not anybody is involved in anything, we at least have to have each other. And whatever it may be that this captain of the other ship is in on, or is dealing with, or whatever, the captain may be aware of it. Just because she's given us these orders doesn't mean that she's necessarily with the best intentions either. It's good as for just protecting others and making sure the ship itself is safe. So getting as much information is important more than anything, and we're gonna have to work together to do that.
Valid. It's kind of a observe until something goes awry situation, or we see something out of the ordinary.
Well,
Then we can swoop in, quite literally, from the crow's nest, just woo.
as fun as that would
Stay
be,
there.
we're gonna have to force our way in to get information. Likely, no, not many people are, I assume, going to be willing to give it to us.
I can punch out of them.
She can punch now.
We
That'd be
potentially may want to go with a less aggressive approach, mostly
No,
out of your
we'll-
own safety.
Valid.
All right, we'll set that as a plan B, a very firm plan B.
Yes, I would agree. There's not much for
Still
any
got a
other
little bit
plans,
of-
so
Anger in me.
I don't have much for a plan C either. So really, that's the only plan B we've got.
I'm still not entirely certain on plan A, to be honest. So
Well, it's
I don't think we have one yet, but we have a solid plan B.
Plan B. Mhm.
It's to use,
Solid.
we just need to use each other as a network for information. For example, I am a great connection figuring out what it is that Dr. Rykoff is, and while he has not given me anything that necessarily promotes his I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Me is me. What is the word I'm looking for? Word has escaped my brain.
Innocence, lack of wrongdoing.
Well, there's like
Trust
a
issues?
wrongdoing. It's like a word that it means wrongdoing, but it's not necessarily
Trustworthiness?
shown as wrongdoing. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's
Evil
going
tendencies?
to succumb
Deep
to
criminal
whatever it
background.
is that this thing he's trying to experiment is.
Mm.
He may be a scholar and has little care for power, but that doesn't mean that whatever he learns about won't affect him himself. So as he wants to experiment on this purple blood, it may itself find a way to affect him, even though he's not a magic user. It won't have the same effect as it did on, well, when he tested it on Terry and then on
Unsolicited, I might add.
or he gets very excited. Okay, he's just believes he's discovering some magical thing of great proportions that could, do so much good. Blah 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 blah. He gets excited. He gets overwhelmed. But that doesn't make it right what he did, but it means that he's just. Sometimes his own excitement turns him to the dumbest man in the room. So
I wasn't there long enough to experience that at all.
you weren't
really,
in that room
so.
at all.
It's going off by your word.
But anyway, while I believe he has no ill intention, that doesn't mean that he can't find himself in the wrong position or to be succumbed by something else in the meantime. So I will continue to keep an eye on him as we go. In terms of
And what
everyone
should
else,
we
we'll just
do?
we'll essentially we have to just try to get info we can, just share it with each other.
Probably talk to people around the boat, maybe.
They're the
Anybody's come in contact with him before?
I mean, inevitably we can always attempt to see what the captain will ever tell us. Otherwise, it's just, is anybody good at skulking around? Or
I mean,
trying
is there
to-
anything necessarily stopping us from just walking over to their ship while they're all busy over here?
I don't know. We can always
I feel
try.
like that's a betray of trust.
I mean, they're
Parlay.
visiting our ship. We can't
If
just,
we're
you know,
boarded,
mosey
there's
over for
inherently no reason to say we can't
there's
go
unspoken
across.
rules.
I feel like there's
There's
some kind of
unspoken
gray area
rules
to
there.
that, actually.
When you have a parlay, it's an equal agreement between two ships not to board the other while one's boarding one. Trust me, I know.
Okay, just saying, that
We
seems to
can
be the
attempt
best
to
thing.
get-
We
if
just go
anything, we
over
can
there.
always attempt to get permission from one of their higher ups on that matter.
I'll try that. Good luck. It might kill you first.
I'm willing to doubt that in terms of his position. He's on our ship. If we're attempting to ask him for permission and he attacks us on our
Okay.
ship, that does little good for him. He needs people on his side just telling them hello without even allowing them to introduce themselves isn't going to do enough to get them on his side. He needs to instill goodwill. What better way to instill goodwill than allowing the trusted few of the captain of this ship to go explore, get a tour.
Yeah. Say what you want. Talk. Look.
Well,
Do
look
that.
at it this way. In his attempt to win over the people of our ship, we can use that desire of his to benefit ourselves.
I mean, don't we have standing orders from the captain to investigate?
Exactly.
True. However, you don't mess with a parlay.
We won't
It's not like
messing
we're
with
at war
anything.
with the ship.
No,
They're our
but
allies.
it's just something you don't do.
What's parlay exactly?
Well, usually it's something that two enemies would do, but I guess apparently it's something that allies could do.
It's just when two ships come together,
Right.
they board each other.
Curse the man who thought of parlay.
So it's like a relationship? I don't fully understand.
Solid pun, but we'll have to move on from that.
Thank you, I was hoping someone would know.
That took Franny a solid second. There's an active moment where that kicks in.
Well, if we want to do any of these things we're talking the talk, we gotta walk the walk and get down off this crow's nest here. Unless you want to glare at them at the other ship more, Terry. I totally understand. It's your territory.
Territory.
All right, let's start walking down.
Alrighty.
All right, so David starts coming off. Who else? Is anybody else following him?
Yeah.
All right, Patrick.
Reluctantly, yes.
I have more puns to tell.
I've got so many puns to tell.
Terry, do you stay in the crow's nest or do you go back down?
I'm gonna give one last icy look at the other guy, and just like sink down while still staring at him. Just, but the whole way down.
That other guy has so much backstory.
So as you all start coming down, after about like a minute or so, you all hit the deck lightly as you all land on it. The minute I said hit the deck, I'm like, oh wait.
Hit the deck!
You all kind of find your way down, and you see some of the crowd is still there. You see a couple of them are now talking to the crew of the other ones, exchanging pleasantries. You see old Dolak, the Dragonborn, the brass Dragonborn. They're talking with one of the young guys. Not talking with, seemingly talking to, as he seems to be talking this young boy's ear off as the young human boy is politely remaining there, listening to this old Dragonborn talk, despite the fact that he doesn't want to be there. And it's very obvious by all your passive insights. But as you all touch down, you do hear the door open, and you do see the two captains emerge out. Captain Orr first, and then Captain Bramber. Captain Orr walks out with his back turned to everybody. So yes, I was saying, the Crimson, as he turns around, he stops as he's looking at something. He just stops suddenly. His glaive still hoisted on his back, blade up. Stops. You see his eyes kind of widen. Finally, as he quickly rushes down, moves past a couple of people, goes past you, David, goes past Petrichor, goes past Terry, goes right up to Nephra.
You're
No,
assuming
no,
that I
no,
let him
no.
pass.
Yeah, the second I see him try to, I kind of like,
I was gonna say, you're assuming we're letting him through.
excuse me.
All right.
I move out of the fucking way.
I don't.
Okay, go ahead.
This guy was the Grovekin you were talking about, right?
No, this is the orc.
That'll do
Oh,
it.
orc. Okay. Yep. All right.
What'd you get?
Still, I get out of there. I move.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Nice.
I don't know how to add it.
Nice.
I don't know what it
Protect the small one.
Oh man.
Well, it would
I
be
didn't roll. Wait, what roll are we rolling? We rolling? What's rolling?
athletics.
Athletics?
Yeah.
You're
You guys-
attempting to
Seven.
clothesline an
So
orc.
21.
7.
21. All right.
Okay.
Because I have a +1.
Okay. 21.
Yeah. That's gonna be actually a 10.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Petrichor, you don't do much. It's mostly just
Yeah,
David.
no.
As he
Surprisingly.
brushes past you, but David, you manage to shoulder check him to stop. And when you stop him, everything goes quiet.
Slow down there, buddy. You'll trip.
And David, you do see this, and everybody else does see this, that Quillith, who is not too far away, and a couple of the crew's members, as well as the crew from the other ship, are now all looking right at you. Because you just placed a hand on an officer.
I'm very lacking of concern of the rank conditions.
You see, for a brief second, David, make me a wisdom saving throw.
Hopefully that'll do good enough. Find out.
Okay. This is to
17.
see whether or not you... 17. All right. You do detect it. You detect a brief wave of what seems to be strong intent towards you. Kind of just washes over you, though, as soon as it goes over you, it dissipates. And you see, for a brief second, some muscles tense on the captain's shoulder, as Orr looks down at your hand. What seems to be the problem, friend? I just wanted to talk to our tiny little, to the young lad here.
We'll say that he gets intimidated easily, and it's best to approach at a distance.
Well, I've always known people to lighten up a little. You see him put his hands up, but I will respect the wishes of the little one, as he takes a step back. Young one, you with the glaive right there. Are you proficient with it?
I said young man.
Can you use that big glaive? I said, young man.
As he stands there.
Nephra.
This sounds for big gay. I said, young man.
Nephra is going to. Well, the first thing he's going to do is he's gonna instinctually straighten up, because it occurs to him that he's been slouching a bit, so everybody thinks he's really tiny. He kind of straightens up his posture, and then he says, I mean, I can use it when I need to.
That's more than enough. Would you care, and this is me asking you, not as a captain, but as a fellow man, would you care to spar with me?
I
Allow me to give you more, a little more information here. You see, for the longest time, my single joy in life is to fight. It's something that's been following me everywhere. You see, I'm what you all know as a Skrendian orc. We hail from the Isle of Skrend, and all of us, we have this little fun little knack of this fun little trait that we always have this little emptiness inside of it. Some people fill it with academics, others fill it with pastries and cooking. I fill it with casual spars and fights. While I have gone around and I've been a few places, I've never fought anybody who has a glaive. So would you do me the honor of being my first person to fight who wields a glaive such as myself?
Nephra doesn't say anything. He's gonna look to the rest of the party for confirmation of should I do this?
You ever see that meme from How to Train Dragon 3, where it's the black dragon with the thing and the white dragon's afraid?
Yeah.
I'm Hiccup, giving you the thumbs up.
I'll kind of kneel in front of you and just kind of like, I know you're concerned about what your glaive can do, but
I
potentially
wish I
this
had
could
mean
serve as a
skills.
very good
I'd probably
distraction.
Photoshop that.
If you can do this, I'm going to try to sneak over by the captain and then get what information I can from whatever meeting they had.
Okay.
Just, you're mentally strong enough to resist whatever it is that the weapon would have you do that you fear so much. Just keep it to simple sparring and use your willpower. You've got it.
Okay. I will. And Nephra's gonna turn back towards it. I guess I accept your challenge.
Woo, go Nephra!
Woo. And as he does that, I am going to immediately sneak away and attempt to kind of just go to the captain without being noticed.
All right, so go ahead and make a stealth check. As you see a giant smile go on the Captain of the Ash's face as he looks at you. I was really hoping you'd see that. Yeah! All right, as he backs up, you see people have already formed a kind of circle being away as he unleashes the glaive, swings it around over his head, and then holds it in front of him. Now, of course, this is a friendly spar. Captain Brand, as he looks over. I will not do any mortal damage to him, just a few bruises. That is my terms. Is it okay if I fight one of your crew? You see that the Captain Brand now has arms crossed in front of her. Can't read her face, of course. She's masked. But you do hear her say, just be careful. You might lose this one. And you see Captain Orr bow down. Of course. I'm always careful. And he looks at you as Nephra. I need you to roll initiative.
Ooh, go Nephra! Go Nephra!
Lead him to the carpet! Lead him to the carpet!
And as Marshall sets up the battle graphics for that, I am gonna go run to the bathroom real quick.
Break time.
I want to go up behind Nephra
I'm
so
gonna,
rub his
you know what?
shoulders.
I'm actually gonna keep it to normal until he comes back.
Okay.
It makes no sense to like be like, battle. So how you guys doing?
How you guys doing?
Waiting here for a bit, aren't we? Yeah.
Yep.
Why do I gotta? Why? What's happening?
All right, always remember, sweep the lake. Sweep the lake. He's using the
Believe in you, kid.
left hand, right? Which hand is he using? Left
Terry
or
fight
right?
with her bell. Why do it gotta be me?
Hey, my bell is an instrument of peace and posterity. It is not
Posterity?
a tool for violence. It is meant for posterity, yes. Future generations.
Not prosperity.
Prosperity.
That's funny. Well, I'm sitting on that.
Just so we're clear, I'm gonna
though.
throw sand in his face and run. That's the
Got
plan.
it.
Pocket sand.
Good.
Pocket
good.
sand.
Okay.
To the carpet.
All right,
Lead
I will
him
now
to the carpet.
change.
Wireless headphones are amazing because I can hear everything you guys
See,
are saying.
At
over there.
least it wasn't a wireless headset with a microphone. Then we
That
would
is
be
true.
having the problem.
That would be quite awkward.
All right, Nephra, what'd you get?
That was a 15 total.
Nephra with 15. All right, and then he rolled a 76.
My stealth check was a 22.
I
Ooh,
heard.
that's stealthy.
Okay, I didn't remember.
Somebody multi-classed into rogue.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, so. All right, he rolled a 76, so that's what happens to him.
You rolled a 76.
Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody
Does
failed
the game
apparently.
break?
Hey, I announce who fails. You tell us who failed.
All right. or rolled a natural 1, in which case he rolled a 76 on the failed chart. So a certain thing happened to him.
Oh.
Oh, buddy.
See, that's really what was more important about.
Why are all
If
the
it was
cool
like
fools-
So
random
the cops
person
show up,
attempting
right?
to, that's what I was like. If it was like random person attempting to see me, that would have been boring. But if it was Ord, then it's important. Then I gotta know.
Every time we have this cool battle between PC and NPC, somebody always rolls a 1 and fucks the whole thing up.
It's cursed.
Sometimes they roll 2.
Cursed.
If we get cops, it's worth it.
It is
he's
worth it.
correct.
Alright, I gotta do a quick bit of math here.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, you know, he's calculating how many cops are gonna show up.
Exactly. Yep. Gotta get
22.
the base 3 cops.
This is the
Mark my
this
words,
is the boat
one of these
police.
campaigns, we're going to have cops.
Pull the vehicle over. This is the boat police. Whoop.
Now, Marshall,
They're in a bigger boat.
I know we were using
What you gonna do?
fail chart and we're working to make it our own. Can we still have cops on our own sheet? It's very helpful.
So as you two kind of face off, you see him standing there. He stands straight up. There's no obvious stance to him. He is holding the glaive out towards him, out facing you. He's standing about 20 feet away from you, as the ship will permit, close to the edge of where some of the people are. You do see some of the officers are watching. The sun is beaming down at an angle.
Fight.
Away from him and towards you, Nephra, with the sun coming over the poop deck, which he has his back to. You do see Nina is observing from farther away, but she is looking at the fight itself. You do catch that she is looking at you. So with that said, Nephra, what do you do?
First of all, I have a very important question. Did we heal after coming back aboard this ship?
We have not
Do we have
rested.
any
If
opportunities to
that was
heal?
I
Did
feel
we
like we
rest?
rested. It'd be a short rest at least.
I can't
mean-
remember if we ever rested.
we would have had enough to take a short rest, but not
Yeah.
a long rest.
I couldn't tell you. I wasn't there to get hurt, so.
I would say in this case, I'll let you take a short rest.
A preemptive short rest.
We have to short rest.
Okay.
Well, friend, in the back. You
I'm
would
gonna
take
Just
a
roll.
short
like
rest.
battle starts. Wait, give me an hour.
So I would say during the entire time you were on the ship, you kind of just been recovering your energy more, as you haven't been doing that much strenuous things besides climbing up the ropes onto the crow's nest, but that wasn't too strenuous. So go ahead and roll your hit
For
dice.
yourself, man. I never skip arm day.
And go ahead and take a short rest. As real quick, let's see. Jade,
Hmm.
roll me an initiative roll.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's not a 15 this time.
What'd you get?
20 total.
20 total? Alright, Jade just rolled
60.
the spectators initiative. So on a 20, you guys are allowed to do something. Either yell out something, do something sneaky.
Rah,
whatnot.
rah, sis boom ba.
I would say that's just a general overall thing of what happens in the store.
Okay.
Alright, so Nephra, you good to go? Just let me know when.
I guess so, yeah.
Alright.
Glaive battle.
Alright,
Come on, where's the music? Hit us up. Get that dope beat.
Okay, so it's my turn, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Nephra is going to inhale and exhale, and then he's going to take the glaive, and kind of bring it around in just kind of like this test, like horizontal slice, just like whip it around, not necessarily aiming to hit, but just kind of as like a, okay, we're doing this. This is a thing that's happening.
Okay.
And then he is going to step forward. What is the current distance between us?
About 20 feet between you two.
Okay. He is going to walk 10 feet forward and close that gap a little.
Alright. So now you are within attack range.
Yes. And he's going to say, if you don't want to do this, that's fun. We can end this right now.
You see him grin, a very toothy grin, as he looks at you. The blade still in his hands. You see the blade going up and down slightly. He's holding it towards the end of it. The longness of it is just easily being moved, even from him holding the tip at the end. I've been waiting for this for a long time, kid. Show me what you got.
Nefer's actually gonna end his turn.
Okay.
He's not going to swing.
You see Captain Nor look at you, see you prepared, kind of nod his head, and you see him lower himself down a little bit, bring his glaive over his shoulder, and kind of, in a way, hold it so it's behind his head a little bit. Kind of like a trick shot, in a way, when playing pool. He's holding it that way, at the same length, while still in range of you, but he also does not attack. As Petrichor, go ahead and make me a history check.
That's gonna be 18.
18?
Mm-hmm.
You know that stance.
Okay.
You've seen it before. In an
Okay.
exhibition match back in period in your past, you watched someone who used this certain style fight your caretaker at the time. The name of it, if you recall correctly, is the Way of the Kensai.
Okay.
Other than that, you don't know much from it, but you do know that there's a way taught primarily with the Rosard Monastery. So that's on. It is now 20. David, I'm assuming you're making your way towards the captain.
Yes. My
Okay,
attempt is
easily.
to go pretty much unnoticed.
Sure,
Hence the 22.
I know. So where do you come up to the captain?
Well, so where is she exactly? Like, what's her surroundings?
She is currently with Quillith and Gildis, the quartermaster for the Asher. They're off towards where the door is, so opposite where you all are. So I want to say a good 40 feet will get you to where she is.
But she's like next to them, or
She's next to the two officers, but they're about 10 feet away from the first row of spectators watching the fight.
okay. So essentially, I look to kind of get behind her. My question was also mainly if like there was anything like any type of like any issues like by a ledging or like.
Nothing like that. She is standing a bit behind Quillith and Gildis, and there's really nobody behind her.
Right, but there's like she's like in the middle of like nothing, like it's just open area by her then.
There is the captain's, or the door to her cabin, about 5 feet behind her.
All right, and then no like railing or anything.
The top of the boot deck, which is about 10 feet high, but it's still about 10 feet away.
Yeah, because my goal is essentially to get behind her and then try to almost kind of just be like hidden around something.
Okay. Well,
Crazy
you did
clever.
roll a pretty good stealth check, so you're pretty casual as you're walking. It's just a matter of whether or not people will still be able to perceive you, which most of them don't.
So I'm assuming you had a nice conversation.
Of course. You see Bran, without even flinching, respond back to you in a whisper. Just regular captain and captain.
What's so regular about this?
It's boring. Shipments. Mostly. How many people we've lost, how many ships we've lost. How many are coming on board to the Ember now that we have her. how many other prisoners we're going to give to them, since we're overflowing right now in the grave.
So how do they suddenly just appear? Almost out of nowhere.
The Ashes has a very talented crew. And while we were discussing, they could easily clear the gap between them and us.
Well,
The wind is favorable. But they had other news for us.
oh.
And as she says this, we go back to the first initiative. Nephra, it is now your turn.
Nephra is going to maintain the distance that's been established, 10 feet. He is going to, without saying anything, he's suddenly going to swing the glaive back to his left-hand side, so swinging it in a horizontal arc, aiming for the captain's legs, attempting to like knock him
All
off
right,
his feet.
go for it. Go ahead and make me an attack roll.
Whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Ooh, that could have been a little better. That's gonna be 13.
That's not too bad.
With the 13, you attempt to maneuver. You see him kind of bend down forward. The blade catches into the wood below, and it intercepts your blade as it comes in, kind of blocking out the strike. As you do that, and as you strike, and he blocks it, he's like, "Good job, kid. Good form. You gotta put a little bit more force into it. Don't make it too obvious." As he's resumes back his stance. Is that your turn, Nephra?
What?
And I what?
Let's see here. Yes, I think that's all I can do action-wise.
All right. So with that, he is going to, with the glaive, you see him pull down on one end, bring the butt end towards you, and kind of push out into your stomach. As it hits your armor, you kind of feel a little shove. It doesn't hurt you in any way, but it's just a little shove back. It's not enough to move you. And you see him kind of still smiling as he does this. Like I said, give me everything you got, kid. Don't hold back. As you see him raise the glaive back up and then try to whack you across the face with the blunt end of it. With the second attack, which I assume misses with a 11.
Yes, it will miss.
Okay. Quickly, you see the strike happening as you kind of duck down, and as he brings the glaive around, the butt end misses you, and you see him use that momentum to kind of swing it around his neck, and then easily he goes back in the stance that he adopted earlier. As it is now the spectator's turn. What do you guys like to do?
Yeah, Nephra, go for the knees. Get him. Just like classic, like go for a chance.
And then you continue your chat with the captain.
Yeah, it seemed like she was gonna say something.
You see Captain Brand still stand there. Now, more leaning towards you to make sure nobody overhears the conversation. You haven't had any reports of the phenomenon you all experienced on the Grove of My Lakey. So at least we don't have to worry about that. But they brought something to our attention. Something that might be a bit more troubling. With that, Nephra, it's now your turn.
Nephra is going to pause for a moment, recatch his breath, and then he says to the captain, Where do those feathers come from? And he doesn't wait for an answer. He immediately sidesteps and then steps in diagonally forward and thrusts forward with the glaive.
Okay,
fast as
go ahead and make me an attack.
That's that is gonna be
Hit it, Nefra.
that is gonna be a 16.
16 misses. As you thrust, you see it kind of go towards his torso, and in a brief second, you see him contort his body in a way only an acrobat can, and the blade barely missed the area that he used to be standing. And without skipping a beat, he responds back. This is from Tusco and Quill. They're pretty rare around that area, but I managed to catch one as he kind of swings the glaive around to try to hit you again. Does a 23 hit?
You know what? Yes, it does. You wouldn't believe it, but yup,
Wow.
a 23 does in fact
23.
totally hit me.
Oh, so close.
As you feel the blunt end hit you, the way the move hits, you would have assumed that it would do devastating damage. However, when it hits you, you see it for a brief second, but you see him kind of stop his movement right at the point of the impact, kind of lessening the blow a little bit, as you take half of 13 damage, 6 damage.
Oh,
And as he pulls back and then moves down to make a downward strike with the blunt end again, he tells you, "Kid, when you're in a fight, you want to focus on the person in front of you." As he does an 18 hit you?
yes.
Okay. As that will be only 4 damage. As again, you see him restrict himself as it hits you in the top of the head, right between the horns.
Bonk.
As he bonks you in the head, he adopts a new stance, one where the glaive is over his shoulders. He's holding it on one end, kind of like one holds a baseball bat, and he leans down towards you. Listen, I can see inside of you. You've got something that's just screaming to come out. Something there, kid. Take it from me. You don't have to be scared of that weapon in your hand, that glaive. That shows that you can defend yourself. Show me how much of a man you are. Come on, hit me. That's his turn. As it's his turn. At a 20, anybody else doing anything?
Nah, He's got
Continuing
this.
conversation.
you don't need me.
You
I
see at
just
this
keep
point.
cheering loudly, obnoxiously at most times.
You see at this point, David, Captain Brand is now silent as she's observing the first few strikes on Nephra, and you see her hand tighten over her grasp.
Nervous, Captain.
No, I just hate to see my crew get hurt.
Well, what is it that they have supposedly learned? You leave me on the edge of my seat.
You'll stay there until we converge again. There's something I wish to speak with before.
Well, as friendly as he is, you'll mind that I treat him the same as we are to treat everyone else.
No, he's an exception.
I disagree. As I slink away. Mysteriously slink away.
Alright.
Sneak out the back so nobody knows I was there.
Alright, Nephra, it's now your turn.
It sure is.
As he's
Nephra is visibly he looks like really irritated or annoyed. He's thinking about what the captain just said to him about like be a man.
Mm-hmm.
Worked like a
Flow of a
coursing river.
coursing river.
Yes.
God damn it.
Yes. Jake. Yes.
Oh, force of a great typhoon. No, Nephra is gonna do something a little different. Nephra takes the glaive and kind of holds it outward, like horizontally in front of him,
Okay.
and he says, "I'm giving you one more chance. That's me being a man. That's me standing up to you. I'm giving you one more chance. End it."
All right. Is that your turn?
And
Scene.
I am going to ready an action.
All right. I will let you keep me in suspense, so I'll
Sure.
let you trigger it whenever you trigger it. So, on his turn, you see him. The smile comes back as he looks at you. There's something in his eyes. For the first time, you notice that there's almost a fire that's lit behind it, in them. As he looks at you, he deepens his stance a little bit. Come on, kid. I know you have it in you. Show me. Show me what you fight for. As
Show
he,
me what you've got.
As he awaits whatever you have in store for him. As we'll skip over the spectator's turn, and Nephra, go ahead and do what you gotta do.
The reaction in question,
Yes.
the action in question, would
Run
trigger
away.
upon him attacking me.
Okay.
So Nephra is waiting to see if he is going to stand down and end the fight, or
You do notice that he is still well into continuing to fight you. So if you want to use that as a trigger, you can.
no, Nephra's gonna wait.
Okay. And seeing that you are waiting, he is going to start spinning the glaive, first to his left, then to his right, in a windmill sort of way, slowly approaching you. You see him kind of twist his body, allowing the glaive to follow along with him as the blade, to its side, to its credit, the side of it starts coming down towards you. As the attack starts coming down. You want me to roll the attack, or
Yes, I want you to roll the
okay.
attack.
Sounds good. All right,
I would like you to roll.
That's gonna be a dirty 20 to hit.
It will hit.
Yep, and that is going to be 4 damage muted as it collides with your head once again.
So the moment he hits me, Nephra's eyes, which are always completely white, no corneas or pupils or anything, it's completely white, snap and turn black.
Mhm.
He reaches out forward with his hand,
In your willpower.
grabs onto the captain's face, and he casts Hellish Rebuke.
Go
All
on.
right.
This is a glaive fight, not a magic fight.
What's your
I
save
mean-
DC?
To be fair, he did say he wanted to fight a glaive user. Nephra does use a glaive. He never specified.
The save is going to be a dexterity save.
Mad port still
All
standing.
right, and what does he have to beat?
14.
All right, Nephra, go ahead and roll damage.
Good thing. That is going to be 9 points of damage. Fire damage.
9 points of damage. All right, and you all see this at this point. You see Nephra. You might not have caught his eyes turning color, but you do see him reach forward, grab the captain's face, and you do see a blast of fire erupt around him.
I kind of like
you-
in like middle of cheering, like
a lot of the people watching this, who were cheering a bit from this sudden form of entertainment, stop for a second. They all look at each other, and then they begin to cheer again as there's Nephra's hand is still on the captain's face after he has done this. You see a little bit of smoke coming off. Some of the hair seems to be still on fire. And then, secondly, it's still the captain's turn. With a 19, you do see the captain let go of the glaive. And his hands grab Nephra's hand. In a quick motion, in the form of an arm strike, he kind of grabs Nephra's, twists his body around Nephra's arm, and throws him over his shoulder onto the ground.
Like a continental soldier.
Whoa!
Yeet!
As Nephra, as you land on your back, and for a second, everything goes black. As you take 3 damage in
knocked you out there.
Nephra is now unconscious.
Oh, buddy.
We're out of initiative. As
Oh.
I hoped too much. So I'll
as
try
you
to
see,
after I slink my way from the captain.
all right. As you see, Captain Nor silent now. There's no smile on his face, looking down at the body of Nephra's. I don't want to say the body of Nephra because it sounds like he's dead. But at the
body of Nephra's body.
Nephra's unconscious self. You see him kind of drop down onto both knees, where they're kind of away from Nephra's face from where he landed. He starts smacking the side of Nephra's face. Hey, kid. Hey, kid, wake up. There's an impromptu medicine check.
Done good.
-5.
Oh
Yep.
god.
20. Wakes up just like totally good.
Elbow drop.
Full health.
Just
That's
slaps
right.
the life into you.
Nephra. You wake up, but technically you're still at 0, so you're kind of you really
Gasping.
can't move anything. You feel really shitty right now. Hey, kid. As he kind of just continues smacking on you in the face.
If I've gotten away from the captain, I'll be making my way towards Nephra.
Okay.
Nephra slowly, kind of groggily opens his eyes, and they've gone back to low. So that usually.
You see above you the warm smiling face of Captain Orr looking down at you, kind of just holding your face, still kind of smacking, kind of stopping mid smack. You're awake. Hey kid, how you feeling?
Great.
See, nothing like a good fight, right? As he kind of smacks you once more.
Oh,
And kind of-
buddy.
Ow.
You do see that he's not holding his glaive at all. He's left it away, and he's looking down at you, Nephra. Hell, what trick you got there? Not like your style, kid. This is coming from the man they call the glaive.
Nice and full of himself. Perfect.
Are you the glaive, or do you wield glaive?
Whoa.
It was an old nom de guerre that they gave me sometime. And a time long forgotten. Brian can tell you more about it if she ever decides to take off that mask. As he kind of peeks over at Brand and looks back at you, Nephra.
Hints.
Hints.
Dancing around the secrets.
By the way, Nefra, as he says this, he is talking to you in a quiet tone. He is kind of whispering this to you. Okay, don't be afraid to show that. Someday they'll protect the person you care about the most. I wanted you to see that. And if you ever need any help, I'm here for you, alright? From one glaive user to the other, and he kind of gives you an impromptu noogie. Not too hard, because he knows you're kind of in a shitty position right now.
Watch the.
Ow. He bonked on your head a couple times, too.
Yeah, I might have a concussion. Actually, I should probably get checked out.
It's gonna be
You'll
out for 2
fine.
weeks.
Yeah, just sleep. Just sleep. Just sleep on it, kid.
I'm glad Jade got that
Football.
right.
I got it.
Yeah, you do see him also reach into a pocket and pull something out and put it on your chest, Nefra. That's for you. Now looks
Is
like
it a phone number?
No.
Damn it!
Damn it! It's one of those fake phone number lines.
What did I do all this for?
I've been duped.
You see him place something on your chest, and you feel a little weight on it. As he leaves that item there. That thing's been with me for a good while. You've impressed me, kid. You haven't beaten me yet, but I know it's gonna happen. Since you used the glaive, it feels only fair. Later on, who knows? Maybe I'll give it to you. The title, I mean, not, me. Kind of weird.
Now you've made it weird.
Yeah.
It wasn't weird until you made it weird.
Man, I make a big mess of this, aren't I? I'm just excited. Hey, listen, kid. Find a thing to fight for.
Your mom.
And
Oh!
find something to fight for, and then keep that thing close. Protect it with all your life, and you'll find that that fear just kind of goes away. That's what it means to be a man, all right? As he kind of gives you one last smack before getting up. I say, by the way, you might want to grab onto that thing real quick as he starts picking you up, kind of easily, off the ground.
So much.
Nefra is going to. Where's the glaive right now in relation?
I would always assume Nefra would never let go of it, so it's kind of still in
Yeah.
his grip.
So even getting body slammed, he would probably still be like holding on to it weakly.
Oh yeah. So it's limply in your hand, but you manage to grab hold of it, and you also grab whatever's on your chest. As he picks you up, he's like, "This guy has impressed me. Make sure you all know that the glaive has formally endorsed it, whoever this kid's name is."
It's Nefra, you showboat.
Nefra.
No, don't tell them. No, damn it.
And then you see a couple of the
Shit, damn.
Yeah,
That's your
Nefra.
name.
Nefra. Nefra. Shit, damn.
Nefra, shit, damn.
That's kind of
I
what
hate all of you.
he kind of holds up your hand, Nefra, and you have the thing you're grabbing onto is now in that hand that you're holding up, and he kind of gives you one strong pat in the back that almost threatens to put you over, as he starts walking over to the captain. Oh, that was good. That was a nice little thing. He kind of touches his beard. Ooh, got a nice little shave out of it too. Might not grow back though. I might need to look into shaving this. As he looks at his goatee, peeks over and Gildas comes up to him and starts talking about something. You do notice that he's now staring at something. And if anybody cares, they can make a perception check. Nefra, you're currently hurt, so it does. So it's up to you whether or not you want to do anything.
Am I at like 1 hit point now then? Because
Yes,
I'm like
I would
up
say-
and standing.
I would say right now you're at 1 hit point.
16.
All right. So, David, you're noticing that now Captain Orr's gaze is going to past a lot of people and going actually to Petrichor. But not to her in general. He looks to be scanning her over, as if trying to figure out something.
All right, Petrichor fight. Here we go. Your turn.
Excellent.
You looking for something?
Petrichor, you're shouting that from 25 feet away.
No. Mhm. Well, never mind then. I didn't know how far away he was.
Yeah, but you can notice that he is staring in your direction.
Yeah.
He's not be too subtle about it. This man
Sure.
doesn't seem to dwell on
Know what
subtlety.
subtlety is? No.
Perfect.
Well, well, where's
Still
Nephra at?
making
Is
my
he
I'm still
just,
making
like,
my
kind
way
of-
towards them
yeah.
to get to Nephra.
Yeah.
Downtown.
We're just gonna go. I'm gonna go walk towards Nephra at least.
Hi. Nephra, you are currently towards the center of the do fighting arena that people are now kind of walking across to like talk about this little spar that just happened on top of the deck. You're kind of standing there weakly, and in your hand is still the thing he gave you.
Yeah, so Nephra's kind of like leaning on the glaive for like support because he's having trouble just like standing up right now. His hair is plastered all over the place. He is looking at his closed fist with the item in it, and he's going to dramatically open his hand up at what is in his.
And as you dramatically unveil this item in your hand, and your companions start closing in on you, you see, made out of what looks to be a jet gem, just pitch black in color, this polished stone, pure black, in the vague shape of a dog.
Doggo.
You look at it, yeah, it kind of looks like a dog. It fits in the palm of your hand. And you can see from some of the, by how polished it is, it's been pretty taken care of.
Is it like particularly heavy, or is it kind of like a lighter stone?
It's about the weight of a handful of dice. It's not too heavy.
How would we know how much a handful of dice is?
That much.
Yeah.
So,
Nephra is going to turn to the others as they arrive and say, I don't know what this. Does this look?
Looks like he gave you a nice welcoming present. I think he likes you.
This could be our in, though. If we wanted to
Calm
get
down.
down their ship, we can use this.
I would agree. The captain has desired to speak with us, though, at some point, about whatever it is that she spoke with him about.
Does she want to speak with us now?
I mean, my opinion is sooner rather than later, but she didn't
True.
necessarily give a deadline.
I feel like she'd probably wait until the others are on their ship so she can focus on us when the time needs need.
But that information may be more prevalent that if we were to go onto their ship.
Mm.
So I would be concerned about waiting for too long.
Mm.
Nephra has put away the dog stone
mm-hmm.
and is pulling out the remnants of the ration salt from, and he's like chowing down on that.
Wouldn't you rather go to your best buddy, Dr. Rykov, to fix you up? Magical heal.
He's potentially that's not a bad idea. After all, you are his apprentice now, aren't you?
Case in
Yeah, he keeps calling me that, but I haven't actually done a lot of apprenticing, and I'm still not totally sure what that's going to entail, so...
Just
Don't
keep an
worry.
open mind. He's an eccentric fellow, but he doesn't mean... He's never before meant anybody harm, and I don't really necessarily expect him to now. Plus, it gives you potential confidence to him as well, which is apparently something that we couldn't have more
I guess I could give it a try.
of. Good. Now,
Just don't incinerate him, okay?
Nefra visibly tenses up.
That was rude.
But
Poor
funny.
kid alone. Had a
I'm
tough
like
day.
20, actually.
You're
I
a
know
kid.
everyone's saying I'm a kid, but like I'm
Yeah, I'm 22. I'm older, so
Mm.
you're a kid to me.
Laughs in 126.
Laughs in,
All right, Grandma.
deep booming laugh.
laughs in Derekai.
Terry,
Yes.
you do notice though that you do feel a gaze upon you, and as you look over to the officers as Captain Bran is seemingly speaking to Captain Nor. Neither of them are looking at each other. Captain Bran is kind of just see where she's looking because of the mask, and Captain Nor is still looking over towards Patricor. Notice the eyes on you actually seem to come from Gildas, the Grove King Derekai.
Ah,
As he's looking at you, it's not a look of curiosity. It's now a look of, like, oh yeah, that's a nerd Derekai. It's a look of disgust.
So you know that icy look I was giving the other crow's nest guy?
uh-huh.
Yes.
That one times 2.
Ah.
Adam.
Extra daggers.
Both eyes this time.
The ice in my vein flows straight to my eyes. A deep, piercing blue.
They just connect in the middle. It's pure anime.
Lightning between them.
Yeah.
And Nefra, behind you, you do feel a small, light touch on your bruised shoulder. And as you all
Nefra
see,
whips around, glaive in hand, and almost falls over.
you see Nina take a step back as she's kind of holding her hand, looking at you wide-eyed. Nefra. Alright. Are you okay?
Nina, yeah, I'm okay. Don't worry about the thing in the. I'm not dead. That's good. Everything's good. We're cool.
Yeah.
Clearly, you should be never better. You almost showed up the captain of another ship, a feat not many can face.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really do that a lot.
You look pretty cool doing it, Nefra. She kind
You
of,
look so cool.
she kind of looks at you. But please try not to get yourself hurt.
I'm definitely trying not to. I promise.
I'll hold these hand, okay? And she kind
Yeah.
of just smiles a little bit and starts walking away. Shoots you a couple glances as she walks back toward Quillet. Mind you, this happened with all of you kind of watching the direction.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, are you guys taking Nefra to Dr. Rykov?
Well,
I have no intention of visiting him anytime soon.
Neither do I. Let's hang out.
we can
Yes.
go- let's go towards the
Drinks
captain.
sold. Let's go.
Girls' night.
Girls' night.
Shall we just go to the captain?
She seems quite occupied at this time.
I care not for tearing up her
It's
talks
called
with
being
him.
polite. You should learn how to do that sometime.
The politeness can be taken when we're not staring down the darkness of whatever it is that is attempting to take us. So
Oh, don't
Okay,
worry.
melancholy boy, calm down.
I'm
We're
staring
fine.
down more than just darkness right now.
what are you looking at?
everyone turns at Terry. What are you looking at right now?
There is a contest of wills going on here that transcends your mortal's beings. You do not understand, you cannot understand, and you will not understand.
Go off.
I stare all of this just staring at him.
Yes,
I'm
Queen.
going to let that one go.
Yep, just leave it.
Nefra
You
contemplates waving
have
his hand
fun
in
with
front of her
that.
face and then decides.
You go. You take that on. I'm
Nefra, this is my battle.
At some point, we are going to need to have that conversation, and sooner is better than later.
Wait until this
I
guy
think
leaves.
this might be Bell related.
All right, we'll find out if you're
Maybe.
here throughout the night.
Maybe.
I don't know.
6 hours later, nobody else is on the deck, just these two staring.
The Ashes has already left.
You know he
Oh, no,
could kill you,
My,
right?
my
Oh,
heart
I
will
know.
go on. Softly plays.
He could kill you, right? Oh, I know. But if he does, I win, and he knows that.
That was
Terry, you do notice he's just looking angry and angry at you, as the canines in his teeth are very evident by the growl you assume emitting from 30 feet away.
Dogs.
I make no other gestures than just stare.
Bark, bark, bark.
Although, can I like let a little wisp of like cold breath, kind of like?
You can, and you do.
Yes, yeah.
Terry
And
casts minty freshness.
It's super effective.
what it feels like to chew 5 gum.
Yes, exactly.
Stimulate your senses.
But as this is going on, you all do hear some footsteps coming from away from you, not from the ship itself, but from the other ship. As you all turn to look, and a lot of the crew members and passengers on the Ember itself kind of turn, you see about a group of 20-ish people start coming onto the, going over the plane carefully onto the. You see, none of them are armed. None of them seem to be fit of mind. You see a couple adults here and there. You see some children. Some of them are wrapped in clothes. Some of them barely have any clothes at all. As they start coming over, and you see they all come from all walks of life. Some have armor, some do not. Most do not. No one seems to be armed.
So much for that parlay, huh, Patrick?
You see Goliaths, you see gnomes, you see halflings.
Apparently, there will be
Dragonborn.
a personnel and prisoner transfer between both of our ships.
This guy isn't coming along, is he?
I would not
I
assume
would not
so.
know.
Okay, telling you right now, we're gonna have a big problem with this guy stays.
Do I recognize anybody coming on the ship? I'm assuming you're talking to personnel coming on the ship, correct?
Yes.
Franny? Okay. Do I recognize anybody?
Go ahead and make me a perception check.
I don't think that's gonna do it. That's gonna be a 8.
An 8?
Mm-hmm.
In this case, no, none of these look familiar. You
Okay.
can recognize some. They're a mixture of clothing native to the Isle of Grend, some Morin fashion wear. You see a couple people in finer clothing, but now, due to time and reuse over and poor maintenance, kind of deteriorated slightly. You see some people in ribbon wear, some people in Soskoan wear.
Mm-hmm.
And you see some Esper knights here and there from the Kingdom of Espera. Few and far between, but they're still there. As they kind of come on over, you see their eyes are wandering around, unsure of what their new surroundings are. As your ship has become slightly ever more. And as that's being done, that's where we're going to end the session for tonight.
Okay.
Thank you all for stopping by to see Nefra's big day. All right. Tune in next time to get a couple answers. Who are these? Where are they from? What's their stories? We'll never find out what that dog does. Will the captain ever make sense to anybody?
Nope.
Will Terry and Gildas ever stop their staring contest?
Nope.
That's
This
a big
and
no.
I
more.
will never blink.
This and more next week in Embers by Daybreak. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. I'm assuming we're saying bye now. Bye.
Bye.